Welcome to the very first episode of All Eyes on Sports. Basically, this new show is just gonna be about us talking about sports, basketball, football, and down the line, we're gonna be looking for new members to come and co-host with us that have vivid knowledge about baseball, soccer, golf, etc., all the other sports. So, I know you guys have never seen us before, but hello, my name is Dillon. I'm a 16-year-old junior, and I attend Farmington High School, and I'm here with my little brother. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Connor Cotton. Of course, I'm an 8th grader that goes to East Middle School, and I will be a freshman in high school next year.
And basically, this show is the show kind of started with our mom. Our mom was really the one who made all this happen. She would eavesdrop on us when we would have debates during school, and she would clearly see that the debates would be really heated. Well, not necessarily heated, but they'd be very, I don't know really the good word for it, just intense.
Yeah.
And mom brought up the idea to us. Shout out Crystal, by the way, if you're watching this. I know you are. But basically, she brought up the idea of us having our own show, our own podcast, which is how All Eyes on Sports came into play. And okay, that's a little background on us. We're gonna be here every week around this time, every Saturday around this time, and yeah, basically, that's a little introduction on us. So I have a list of topics on my phone that we're gonna talk about today, and let's get it started. Okay, so where is it? First order of business. Who's better? Actually, yeah, first order of business. So as you all sports fans know, that the NBA season is really ending today, and that the play-in tournament starts tomorrow, I believe. I'm probably wrong, but forgive me if I'm wrong. The play-in tournament starts tomorrow. So we're going to go over our biggest winners and losers of the season, and then after that we'll go over who we think should win the awards for each. Who should win the awards for the season. So, I know you've been wanting to do this for a minute. So,
actually, let me save my energy. You go first, Dylan. Let me save my energy.
Okay, so I think my biggest disappointments for me this season, I'd have to say it's between the Wizards and the Rockets. The Wizards, because when Russell Westbrook got traded to Washington for John Wall, everybody thought that Russell and Bradley Beal they were going to automatically be a playoff team, but we clearly saw that in the beginning of the season, both Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal were both injury prone. Bradley Beal is currently out right now with a hamstring injury. Russell Westbrook just broke the triple-double record last week, I believe. And yeah, so the Washington Wizards, I feel like they should be seated higher, but I feel like the Washington Wizards should be seated higher, but the Eastern Conference is not really good at all this year. They've been good in the past, but not compared to the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference has had some successful years, but they've never had a year where they were better than the West. And my second disappointment that I believe this year is the Rockets. I'm gonna take this off right quick. Basically, my second disappointment for this year is the Rockets, because the whole thing that went down with James Harden, John Wall, everybody else that's on the Rockets, PJ Tucker, blah 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 blah. I feel like, and the new coach, which I believe they said they were gonna fire him at the end of the season. Looking forward to rebuild, kind of like Jerry Cross did with the '97 Bulls. And yeah, those are my two disappointments for the season. I know you've been wanting to get to this the whole week, so
well, we're gonna start this off easy. I actually have two: the Lakers and Heat, both finals teams last year. Starting off with the Lakers, I expected to be at the top of the conference this year, but obviously they were not. The two main factors were due to the injuries of Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Also the fact that without them, they were quite bad. Losing to the Kings, with whose best player is De'Aaron Fox. Hold on.
What? I wasn't going to say
All
anything.
right.
I wasn't going to say nothing.
But they're coached by Luke Walton. You don't lose to a team coached by Luke Walton. Luke Walton is the worst coach in the NBA right now. No,
Stevie Silas. Keep in mind the Rockets lost 20 in a row before they won.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And the Miami Heat, Tyler Hero, I expect him to take a next step to be more of a Mike Bibby type of player, like 17 a game, stuff like that. But I think, in my opinion, he's become more like an off-court identity, in my opinion. And,
yeah, I feel like.
All right, the third. All right. All right, it's on me. All right, the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics. We're gonna be on this topic for about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna start things off with this team consistently plays down to competition. This team lost. Hold on. Let me just say the record for the teams under 500: 17-18, 48.8%. No, 48.6% against teams under 500. I'm just gonna state two games right now. The game against the Knicks, way early in the season, where they lost by 30. The other game the game that pissed me off to the very maximum of efficiency. The Oklahoma City Thunder. We lost to a Thunder team who, keep in mind, who started five cannot legally drink yet. They cannot legally drink. We shot 22% from the three-point range. We lost. Their best player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, was not even playing in that game. We lost. That team was probably the worst team we played all season. And then, like a couple games down the line, we lost to the Bulls by about 22 points. Who I'm pretty sure was without Nikola Vucevic. You don't lose to a Bulls team without Nikola Vucevic. That's one of the top centers in the league today.
They both Vucevic played that game.
Oh, okay.
Played that game.
I'm pretty sure. I was just too furious.
And the Knicks, you can't really be mad at the Knicks game because the Knicks have definitely made some drastic improvements from this year to last year. Keep in mind, last year they were at the bottom of the East last year.
They were a league laughingstock for basically the past 8 years.
They've been a league laughingstock since Patrick Ewing retired.
No.
Latrell Sprewell too.
No. You're forgetting that they actually had a quick 3-year run with Carmelo where they were making consistent playoff appearances, and they beat my Celtics in one of those series, which that still haunts me. I don't want to talk about it. We Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen were both past their primes. Well, it was I can kind of see why we lost to the Knicks in that series. But hold on, back to this season. We cannot be losing to teams under 500. We lost to a Cavs team who hasn't reached 30 wins. Oh, we lost to that Thunder team, that same Thunder team who got absolutely destroyed by 40 to the Pacers, and Domantas Sabonis had a triple-double. They
lost by 50 to the Warriors, I think.
No, you don't lose to phony teams who lose by 50 the next game. You just don't do that. You don't do that. We shot 22% from the three-point line. Hold on. Danny Ainge, you were my favorite GM for the past 5 years, but now I'm gonna need you to get shucked into the Atlantic because we have the worst front court in the league. Tatum does not count because he's a small forward. But no, he does not count.
No, you're saying front court.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at.
No, yes. No, we have no good centers. The Evan Fournier trade was a terrible deal because in the first game after that, he shot 0 for 10, 0 for 5. The only good games we played is when we came back from 32 down to the San Antonio Spurs. In my opinion, that got my hopes up for 3 seconds. And keep in mind, by the time the season ends tomorrow, we needed to win out our last 5 games to make it to at least the 5th seed, so we won't have to be in the play-in tournament. We lost 2 of those. We lost to a Cavs team who had a 30-plus-year-old Kevin Love drop 30 on us. You don't let a washed Kevin Love drop 30 on you. No,
okay.
He's washed.
No. Listen.
If this was Timberwolves Kevin Love, I could see why he dropped 30. Because Timberwolves Kevin Love was a fling bucket. He was a bucket. I don't care. He was a fling bucket. But you don't lose to a Cavs team who has Kevin Love on it, who's not in his prime. You don't lose to a Cavs team who has a 30-plus-year-old Kevin Love drop 30 on you. 30 on your dome. You don't. That doesn't happen. That does not happen. Also, another game where we blew a 24-point lead to a Pelicans team who just got eliminated from the playoffs last night.
Yeah, they did get eliminated, but the Pelicans are not as bad as they were last year. But listen, because they've improved. They have a better center in Steven Adams. Zion has been an absolute freak this entire season. Lonzo Ball is playing better. I don't know how the rookie's doing, but I'd assume he's doing
Jair
pretty
Lewis
good.
Jr. He's only averaging 6 a game.
That's good for a rookie. For a rookie?
All right, yes. All right.
For a rookie.
All right. Well, in my opinion, I went back and looked at the further draft from like 1995 to about like 2007, and like picks around 10 to 20 range only average like 6 to like 15 a game.
Right.
Like 6 to 15 a game, and they don't even last like more than 10 years in the league, in my opinion. And also, hold on a second. We were also 4 of 7. Well, 4 wins, 7 losses when it comes to divisional games. We got swept by the Sixers. Well, we got absolutely demolished by the Nets on Christmas Day like last year. Like, at this point, that's a 36% win rate.
But they are the top 2 teams in the East, though, so you can't get that mad.
No. And we also lost to the Knicks, Dillon. We lost to the Knicks. We lost to it. I can't even be mad at that one.
Yeah, you can't even be mad.
Well, we lost by 30. We lost by 30, Dillon. You don't lose to 30 to the Knicks. If that happens, you're an embarrassment to the league. You don't do that.
No. And if you're embarrassment to the league, if you want to claim the title as being an embarrassment to the league, you got to talk about the Brooklyn Nets, because the Brooklyn Nets, they bought in Kyrie, KD. KD didn't play for 2 years. Yeah, I think he has 2 more years left on his contract. Kyrie carried the Nets for the last 2 years. I don't even think they weren't even in the bubble last year. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But after that, this season they bought in James Harden, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, and the Nets bench has been solid for the past 3 years. You can't lie about that. The Nets bench has been solid for 3 years, and you bring in 5 All-Stars that have played 7 games together, maybe?
No, 7. No, like any of the 5 All-Stars in the lineup, that's definitely more than 20 games.
No, not 5 All-Stars. KD, Kyrie, and Harden. They barely played maybe at most 10 games where all 3 of them are fully healthy.
Yeah.
KD's injured? I think
he's back. He's
okay, KD's back. Kyrie, I think is back. All right, this is the last night or whenever the Nets next game is, will be the first game that all 3 of them are healthy since last I can recall, February or March, because KD was out with a hamstring injury.
No, he was out with an injury for like 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. He was out with an injury for 2 months. Kyrie had his whole situation. I'm not going to talk down on it, but he had his whole situation. Harden has been out for maybe
the past like 10 games.
Yeah, he's been out for at least a month with a hamstring injury. He just came back either yesterday or the night before. And Blake Griffin has been a totally different player since he left the Pistons.
Yeah,
since the Pistons bought him out.
Back.
Right, but he's not jumping as high as he was.
But hold on, I can kind of understand why the Celtics are like the 7th seed, because they are in the best division in the Eastern Conference. In my opinion, the best division in the NBA. In my opinion, there's going to be a lot of tough teams. Keep in mind, all of them besides the Raptors are in the playoff race right now. The Sixers, Nets, and Knicks are like the top 6 seeds. And the Celtics are sitting with the low lights. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, we're sitting with the Hornets. Yeah, Hornets, who have no Gordon Hayward, who's been out for literally the last 3 months.
They didn't really. I'm gonna say this. The Hornets drafting LaMelo Ball has been the best draft. Has been the best pick that the front. Has been the best pick that the front offices did since the.
I agree with that.
Kemba Walker era. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I don't know how that Kemba Walker signing turned out. Like that, they made that Terry Rozier signing look genius. Because they are at the greatest point in their franchise has been since, I don't know, 2000 maybe? Or 2003 when Baron Davis was on the team. Because they have been the most irrelevant franchise. No, that title belongs to the Kings. Yeah, they've been one of the worst franchises in this league since the 2011-2012 Charlotte Bobcats, in my opinion, when they went 7-59.
Yeah. So if you're a new viewer that's just joining us, welcome. I'm Dillon. This is my little brother Connor. You're currently watching All Eyes on Sports show, currently being streamed on WJZZ Cool TV. You can currently watch it live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Also, don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe. Okay, back to what you were talking about.
All right, so in my opinion, in order for the Celtics to succeed without Jaylen Brown, Tatum has to turn into prime LeBron James or prime Michael Jordan with that elite level defense. Because without Jaylen Brown as his wingman, the Celtics are not getting anywhere in the playoffs this year. Without Jaylen Brown, hold on, we have not had a fully healthy roster since January. And plus, Kemba, Robert Williams, Tristan Thompson, and I forgot Marcus Smart are not even playing against the Timberwolves. We're going to get destroyed by Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, and Karl Anthony Towns. Dillon, if we don't have a fully healthy roster, we're not getting anywhere. We're losing by 30.
They did. Okay, maybe not 30, because the Timberwolves, need I remind you, the Timberwolves are bottom of the West with the Rockets. They're good. They're good this year. Don't get me wrong. Anthony Edwards
he's a bucket.
Anthony Edwards is certified. But you need to remind you, Timberwolves are a young team. I can't recall who they're coached by, but they're a young team. They have not been good they haven't been good since the Kevin Garnett era. Kevin Garnett and Kevin Love era when they were both on the Timberwolves.
And plus, that playoff appearance 2018 was a fluke.
Yeah, very much so.
Literally, hold on a second. If the Celtics lose by 30 to the Timberwolves, Dillon, or just lose to the Timberwolves in general, because the last time we played them, they took us to overtime. You cannot go to overtime with the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are possibly the worst team this decade. You wasted a prime Kevin Love. You don't recover.
They're not the worst team this decade. Wait, never mind. My bad. I'm thinking something
They're
else.
the worst team this decade besides the Kings. They cannot draft because, in 2009, they had 2 chances to draft Steph Curry. You take Ricky Rubio and Johnny Flynn. If you take Steph Curry, you guys would at least have had, 1, 2, 3 more playoff appearances if you pair him with a prime Kevin Love. And I'm pretty sure Al Jefferson was still there. He's putting them 20 and 10. That's the mini big 3. You have that mini big 3. You can make at least a deep playoff run, maybe to the finals.
But you gotta understand that 2007 to I believe 2010, it was literally just the Lakers. It's been the Lakers. It was that entire early 2000 decade.
No.
The Spurs, Celtics, and Lakers. Those were the only 3 teams that made multiple playoff appearances through that 10-year span.
Yeah, don't forget the Mavericks or the Suns either.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but basically, if they lose to a Timberwolves team who has, keep in mind, they haven't been good in literally 10 years. Well, they have a bright future. Let's keep that. Let's get that out of the way first. You have a prime Karl Anthony Towns entering his prime, a top 10 center in the league. You have a young Anthony Edwards and a prime and a steady point guard and D'Angelo Russell on your team. You got a shot to win any game, but it comes down to the coaching staff because they have never had a good coach since Flip Saunders.
Exactly, because and to add on to that, the Western Conferences will always be
the Western Conference
has been
conference. Stacked for literally 30 years.
Exactly, it's been stacked for a long time.
Back to the Celtics. I'm starting to lose my patience with Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge. Bro, look what you've done when you fleeced the Nets a few years ago. The Nets had no future back then. They were literally one of the worst teams. No, they were a bigger joke than the Kings and Knicks. You fleeced them. You traded away a past his prime Kevin Garnett, a past his prime Paul Pierce, and a garbage Jason Terry for a bunch of picks that got us Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I thank you for that. I thank you very much, but bro, you gotta go. See, when you fleeced them, we were not supposed to be sitting here in the 7th seed. When we signed Kemba Walker, we were supposed to be a consistent top team, 5th to top seed. Look where we are now, a 7th seed with a 500 record. We are 20-21 this year in conference play. You do not go 20-21 in conference play with a prime Kemba Walker and entering his prime Jaylen Brown and entering his prime Jason Tatum. I think that falls on the front court because we have no front court.
I don't even think Tatum's 25 yet.
I don't care if he's not 25. He's basically in his prime. We literally have no front court. Besides Robert Williams, Tristan Thompson, I don't know if I should throw Taco Fall in there because he's...
Taco Fall doesn't... Don't even get me started on that. Taco Fall barely plays. Last time that he played was against the bottom of the East Magic?
Bro, you see the handles? Dude, he had prime Alverson handles. All right, that's a joke. That's a joke.
I know. I'm just saying. It's the bottom of the East Magic.
Yes, we blew him out by 40.
Exactly. That's the only reason why he got in the game.
Literally, if we trade Tristan Thompson and we don't put in Taco Fall, the only reason why they put in Taco Fall is like oh, we're winning by 40. Let's put you in and get you some minutes. Let's put you and get some minutes. Pat your stats, sir. Pat your stats. He had 4 blocks. I think he's like a great third center to have when your first 2 centers are like bad or like just straight up having an off night. In my opinion, like he can go in there and get like a solid 2 blocks a game. In my opinion.
If that I agree with that he could get. Yeah, that's the first. Keep in mind he's 7'6", 8.5 foot wingspan. He can dunk without standing up. I think he would if Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge would have actually put him in the game for a solid amount of minutes, he would definitely have some type of stat. He'd be like almost a Dennis Rodman type, but at the same time not because Dennis
Rodman and Ben Wallace type of player.
Yeah, but Dennis Rodman was like 6'10", I believe. I think 6'10" or 6'9". Yeah. Taco Fall 7'6". He should be able to get some type of points when he's in the game, but I think Brad Stevens would mainly put him in the game for defensive purposes. But this year's draft, I can't be mad at Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens because Peyton Pritchard, he's solid. He's a solid rookie. You can't even lie about that.
Yeah,
Peyton Pritchard is solid.
Like he's a solid rookie. Besides Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, Marcus Smart, in my opinion, is a top 10 defender in the league and one of the best players on the Celtics. And Kemba Walker, in my opinion, should stay. Everybody else, they need to go because our bench has been god awful this season. We traded for Evan Fournier, which is basically we traded like I think a 2nd round pick to get him. He's been horrible, flat out horrible in my opinion. Let's go back to the first game after we got it. I think it was against either the Rockets, Spurs, or I think the Knicks. He shot 0 for 10 from the field and 0 of 5 from 3. That don't scream 19 points a game. That don't scream solid starter on a playoff team. Heck, even maybe a championship team. That does not scream starter status.
For who, Fournier?
Yes, for Fournier.
Yeah, no. If Evan Fournier wants to see some type of success in the league,
well, he's been in the league for 7 years.
I mean, some type of success for however many years Evan Fournier has left in the league. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's like 27, 26.
No, I think he's 29 in my opinion.
I think he's almost hit 10 years in the league. But if Evan Fournier wants to see any type of success in the league, he's gonna have to go to like a bottom tier team like the Rockets, Timberwolves, heck, even the Kings. Or even the Magic.
No, not the Magic. They have no one. You trade. No.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to go to a team that has nobody, so he can be somebody.
Dude. You're basically referring to him as 2015 to 2020 Devin Booker because these Suns were terrible.
No,
they were terrible.
I'm referring to Kyrie. Kyrie wanted out of Cleveland when LeBron was there because he said he wanted to go somewhere and be a franchise player, which I agree. I believe Kyrie could be a franchise player. I'm saying
anywhere
that right now. Right, he could be a franchise player anywhere he goes. Evan Fournier, on the other hand, is not like Kyrie in any way, shape, or form.
No, he's not.
Evan Fournier is going to have to go either back to the Magic, the Kings, Rockets, Spurs,
or back to the Nuggets,
or even the. No shade to the Detroit Pistons fans. I love y'all, but he's gonna have to go to he might even have to go to the Detroit Pistons. All right. He might go to the Detroit Pistons to be somebody.
When like you said he wanted to be a franchise player somewhere else, he went to the
Celtics. Listen. I'm saying the 3 years that the 3 or 4 years he was there, he was solid.
No, don't you remind me of that. I don't want to be around it. I'm already getting flashbacks. I'm getting so many flashbacks. Yep, I'm gonna stay focused. I don't want to get all emotional now because we kept losing to the Bucks. All right, hold on. In my opinion, the other disappointing teams are, in my opinion, not the Warriors. No, yes, the Warriors, in my opinion, and the Pacers.
You got to keep in mind that Clay has been injured He's been injured for 3 years, I think.
Yeah. Actually, no. The Heat are probably the biggest disappointment. No. That belongs to the Celtics. They suck. The Eastern Conference is not good. Like, hold on. After the Heat got Victor Oladipo, I expect them to be like a 4th seed in the conference at best. But no, they are. Actually, they are a 5th seed in my opinion. I expect them to like take a leap forward, like jump to that 2nd or 3rd seed in my opinion. But the City here are the 5th seed, and Celtics just got owned by them twice. And, pain. I don't want to go back there. And basically, in order for the Celtics to, like, fix all their problems, especially at the center position, I suggest we trade Luke Cornett. We trade Tristan Thompson. Let Taco Fall get minutes.
Or, okay.
Let Taco Fall get minutes.
You think Taco Fall? Okay. So you're saying Celtics should put him in the playing okay, maybe not the playing tournament, but sometime next season.
Yeah, sometime next season. But hold on, you forgot he was in G League for a bit. He was like a double machine, like 12 and 11 a game. That's something the Celtics need because I'm telling you, we are not good at rebounding. We are not a good rebounding team. Like our front court is basically free passage to the paint. I don't know why, but we're 5th in least opponent points allowed in the paint. Somehow the Pacers are dead last with 54 a game. My opinion, I think we should be dead last because we be letting people do this. We be letting people do that. I don't know why we be letting people do that. Like when we got Tristan Thompson, I thought we were gonna win a championship. In my opinion, don't ask. There are no good centers in the East right now besides Joel Embiid. Miles Turner, who's out with an injury.
He's been out the whole year, so I guess.
Miles Turner's still good in my opinion.
I guess he counts. You got Joel Embiid. You got
Mitchell Robinson. Don't forget about him.
Oh yeah, Nerlens Noel. He kind of fluctuates between the power forward and center position.
Yeah.
Those are really the only two centers I can think of.
No,
that are good
Joel Embiid, Mitchell Robinson.
Brook Lopez. He's a solid role.
Yeah.
He's a starter. He's like
Giannis basically, because that man can play any position on the court. He takes 2 steps to the basket, and basically, if he takes 2 steps to the basket and he's going for a dunk, and you're under the basket, you just know you're gonna die.
Yeah,
you're gonna die with a flash. Right then, there, and center, in my opinion. Because at this point, the Celtics without Jaylen Brown, we could not compete with any team whatsoever. If we compete with, we say we win the play-in tournament, we beat the Hornets, we get the 7th seed, we play either the Nets or the Sixers.
No,
right.
y'all play.
No.
Y'all play the Nets because the Sixers have the first. Sixers are the first team in the East.
I'm gonna make a statement real quick. If Harden or Kevin Durant is injured in that Celtics series, that's if we get out the play-in tournament. If any of those two, even Kyrie Irving, if he's injured, I'm gonna make a statement and say we pull off the upset.
I think. I'm going to say this right now for the viewers watching. If the Nets don't win the championship, they are the most overrated team. They are the most overrated
failure of all time.
Right. They're going to be like the Falcons of the NBA. Because I know y'all remember in
2016.
2016 where the Falcons, they had Matt Ryan was the MVP.
They had Julio Jones
was going crazy.
Devontae Freeman.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
And they had a solid defense. They choked against Tom Brady, who...
They were up 28-3.
Hold on a second.
Counting me for 4 or 5 years now? 6 years?
Let's set the record straight. If Tom Brady has his head down doing this, something like that, just know you're going to get absolutely blasted by 27 points. Say you're up 28, and then at halftime, because I saw a screenshot when they played the Falcons, at the tail end of the season. His head was down. He was looking at the floor. He came back. He got the Buccaneers back to the game and won that game. I'm telling you, the Celtics cannot compete with anybody. The reason why I say we cannot compete with anybody because our front court situation is a mess. Our front court is injury prone. The only good person on that front court is Robert Williams. If you look at the power forwards and centers they would have to play in the playoffs, for example, they would have to play, let's see, Giannis. Let's see, Kevin Durant. Mitchell Robinson.
Small forward.
No, he can play power forward as well.
Yeah, he can.
Mitchell Robinson, Brook Lopez, Tobias Harris. I said Joel Embiid, right?
No, what? Joel Embiid is more the center.
Any 10 points per game or more score or a solid role player for their bench, we would get tortured with maximum efficiency. We would not win a single game, in my opinion. Because in my personal opinion, I think the biggest weakness when it comes to a team, or the biggest fault if they lose a game, is they let so many points up in the paint.
Right. Their front court has.
Their front court is the most important position in all of basketball.
Right.
In my opinion. And you have centers. Yeah, centers. The centers, in my opinion, are the most important position in basketball as well. Because without a center, say David Robinson is on the other side of the court, not currently.
I know.
At any era, you have David Robinson on the other side of the basketball court, charging at you. You in the lane. Say like a Chris Mim was in the lane. A Chris Mim was in the lane. Now, what would think would happen?
Or a Kwame.
A, he would die. B, he would die horribly. Or C, he would get dunked on and he would be a meme in this era of social media. He would get nonstop bullied.
Yeah,
What would happen? You cannot have a bad center in the paint.
That's a solid point. Yeah, center. I feel like centers. If you have a good point guard, say like a Steph Curry, Kyrie, I don't know, CP3 type of player, or Russell Westbrook, but your center is not good at all, like
let's see, power forward or center.
Yeah, or basically, if you're a solid point guard like Steph Curry, Kyrie, Clay, not Clay, but Steph Curry, Kyrie, CP3, and you don't have a good, you don't have good paint presence.
Yeah, you're not winning anything. Like going into like far back in history, like with getting like good centers with like a top pick. There's not been a lot of drafts. Like the mid 10 to 20s. There's been a couple of centers that have been good, but like in my personal opinion, all the research I've done, centers around the 10th and 20th range, like Todd Fuller, Donald Foy, or Eric Dampier, they're not good centers. They were never good centers.
They
were good role players.
Yeah,
they were good role players. If you don't know who they are, look them up. Dampier was on that 06 Mavericks team that got rigged in the finals and lost to the Heat. And Donald Foy was on the Warriors for like 10 years. He's like a good role player. He played with Baron Davis, Monte Ellis, and Steven Jackson. See, I think they were not good contributors for their teams, in my opinion, because they only had one playoff appearance during the 2000s. They had one playoff appearance in the 2000s.
Yeah, I agree with that. And basically, for example, like I was saying earlier, the Warriors. The Warriors drafted James Wiseman. He's been out. He's out for the season. He's done.
He was averaging like 11 and 5.
Right. He was a solid center.
Which is solid center.
Exactly. He was solid. I feel like if James Wiseman were to stay healthy, Steph were to stay healthy, and Kelly Oubre has actually been hooping a little bit. I know that's hard to say, but Kelly Oubre has actually been a contributing factor for the Warriors, including Andrew Wiggins.
Did you not see him in the early part of the season? He was shooting like 0 for 10, 0 for 9.
Trust me, I know. I was
laughing my butt off. I
know, but you gotta put the early part of the season behind you. Yeah. You gotta put before All-Star break behind you. He's been hooping. You can't even lie. He's been hooping ever since All-Star break ended.
Yeah. In my opinion, he's like a good, solid starter. Besides all the terrible shooting slumps he had, he's a good, solid starter. In my opinion, he could be an All-Star one day. In my opinion, as well, if he stays at the way he's playing right now, and if he stays like a contributing person on the Warriors, in my opinion, he could be a solid All-Star.
He could definitely be solid in the coming years if he stays the way he's been playing. Okay, so. Currently, you are watching All Out on Sports podcast, currently being streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and currently being streamed on WJZZ Cool TV. Also, don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe. And if you're currently just now joining us, welcome. Once again, I'm Dillon Cotton. This is my little brother Connor Cotton. I'm 16. He's 13. Okay, so now that's out the way, time to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Who do you think is going to actually?
Let's go over I think we should go over to the football standpoint. I excel at that. I think I know a little bit more about football than basketball, in my opinion. So that the draft of free agency is over, we're going to go by division here. We're going to start with the NFC least. Yeah, I said the NFC least. Y'all, Washington football team won the division last year with a 7-9 record.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's the NFC least, in my opinion. So we're going to start off
because the Eagles gave up. It was either the Eagles or the Giants that just.
Now I'm gonna just state off some of the teams that they play this year, starting with the Cowboys. You guys play the NFC South, the AFC West.
I can pull up Dallas' schedule right now.
All right, we're gonna start with a few games here once we get the schedule.
Oh snap!
In my opinion, you guys are not gonna do a lot better, in my opinion, because that 4-year, like $175 million contract that you guys gave Dak Prescott, I don't know what Jerry Jones was thinking when he gave Dak Prescott that contract. In my opinion, he is like a solid Pro Bowl quarterback at best. He will never win MVP, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think he'll make 9 Pro Bowls. Is that the only reason why I say that is because that Dallas defense
It's going to be stacked this year. I mean, not necessarily stacked this year, but it's going to be much improved than it was last year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be way better than it was last year. Okay, so I have the schedule pulled up. As y'all probably know, Dallas opens up with Tampa Bay for the first game of the season.
You're getting destroyed.
Obvious, because it's Tom Brady, Gronk, and the entire offensive line that they re-signed and the defense.
Don't forget about Derek White and Levante David.
Yeah, and the defense.
2 top 10 linebackers in today's game.
And
you guys play the Chargers. You're not winning, Dillon. You're not winning against the Chargers. Justin Herbert will carve you up for about 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. And you want to know why? He's a good QB. He is the best rookie QB we've seen in a long time. They signed Corey Linsley the offseason. They drafted Rashawn Slater, and I'm pretty sure they got another weapon for him. For Justin Herbert on that offense to pair with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, in my opinion. Like, you cannot think of a better way to supply and help you rookie like the Chargers is. They have the best front office in the league, in my opinion, because the offensive line with a top 10 rookie offensive lineman that has ever came into the league, in my opinion, with Penei Sewell being the other one.
Top 10 rookie offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's him and Rashawn Slater, the 2 best offensive linemen in that draft last year. Oh, yeah. And you signed... I don't know why they signed Corey Linsley away from the Packers. As you probably don't know, I'm a Packers fan. I'm a very depressed and sad Packers fan because Aaron Rodgers wants out. I don't want to talk about that. They signed Corey Linsley away from the Packers, which will improve that offensive line dramatically. He kept that man, Aaron Rodgers, alive to fight another day, in my opinion. I don't know why the Bengals did not make a run at him because Joe Burrow basically died.
Oh yeah, that was a shock. Oh yeah, that was a shock.
Oh,
the Bengals drafting Jamar Chase, which I'm not disagreeing with the pick in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that the Bengals need an offensive line. They need an entire brand new offensive line. They need to cut everybody that they have right now in the starting offensive line to the bench. They need to cut everybody right now, like the Lions were doing, just so they could rebuild. But we'll get to the line. We'll talk about the Lions later. But as of right now, I agree. I like the Jamar Chase pick that they did with Cincinnati, but I really think that Cincinnati should have took Penei Sewell with the, what was it, 5th pick? Yeah, the 5th pick.
Yeah, 5th pick.
I really think they should have took Penei Sewell with the 5th pick.
All right, so pull up the schedule again. Going over all the
for Dallas.
For Dallas. Going for all over the opponents that Dallas faces. I don't see them doing better than about like 9-8. Because, you see, you play the AFC West, which is slowly becoming one of the best divisions in football. You play the NFC South.
That's better than what we did last year.
Yeah, that's better. You had Andy Dillon as your QB. That's, no.
Worst decision ever. Andy Dillon as QB? No.
Oh, no, he got signed to the... I love seeing the Bears.
And he got signed to the Bears?
Yeah, and they draft Justin Fields, which, in my opinion, the Bears finally have a good QB since Rex Grossman. Rex Grossman was the only other QB to take them to the Super Bowl besides Jim McMahon in '85.
But there have been I believe there have been multiple other Ohio State quarterbacks that go through the Bears franchise.
No, they don't. They just end up like complete and utter poo-poo water. Yeah, I use that term.
Why
I don't care. I use that term. All right. So they play the AFC West, NFC South, 2 very tough divisions. I'm pretty sure y'all play the Panthers. Yeah. If y'all do, you're getting smacked. Because in my opinion, Sam Darnold has like a lot of weapons. You have DJ Moore. You have Christian McCaffrey. You have Robbie Anderson, the receiver they just drafted. Oh, I forgot who that was. You have all those weapons and a solid up-and-coming defense led by that rookie safety named Jeremy Chin, who was a beast last year, in my opinion. He was an absolute beast. You guys play the NFC West as well, right? You guys play the Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, and I forgot who else y'all play.
We play the Cardinals.
You guys play those teams. You're getting smacked by
every
single one of those teams except the Seahawks because that linebacking core with Jalen Smith, Micah Parsons, and I'm pretty sure the edge rusher DeMarcus Lawrence would feast on that Seattle offensive line.
And Dallas drafted a couple DBs.
Besides, I think 2 other years since 2010, Russell Wilson has been the most stacked quarterback in the entire league.
Most sacked.
Yeah, most sacked in my opinion. Yeah, he's been the most sacked QB in the entire league.
Oh, don't forget about that year that Cam went out with that shoulder injury.
Yeah, he went out that shoulder injury in 2017. No, yes,
2017.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he went out with that shoulder injury then. Like, Cowboys, like, in my opinion, you got screwed. You got screwed. You have to face the best division in football in the NFC West. Who has the best QBs in the National Football League, in my opinion, with Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford, Trey Lance.
You said the best QBs in the league? I agree with that. 85 out of 50.
Yeah, you forgot Russell Wilson as well. Yeah, they are the best division when it comes to QBs. Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford. I would not actually judge Trey Lance, but
I'm surprised you put Matthew Stafford in that.
Sure. What you mean that's surprising for?
Because
No. What you mean that's surprising for, Dillon?
You gotta listen to me though. Matthew Stafford has been on the god-awful Lions for 10 years now, and they haven't had any success. The only success that they had was the coach that they went 9-7 with, but got absolutely...
Jim Caldwell?
Yeah, the only success that they've had was with Jim Caldwell when they went 9-7 and got absolutely popped by the Seahawks.
Yeah,
that's literally the only success that the Lions have had.
And then they replaced it with that gym teacher-looking stuff of coaching Matt Patricia. Yeah, I'm so glad he's not coaching the Lions franchise. In my opinion, the Lions, I think, are going to win like 4 games next year. Hold on, but on the subject of the Cowboys, though, you guys are not winning more than 9 games.
Dallas, excuse me. Okay, Jerry Jones. This was the first draft that I can recall that. Okay, one of maybe 3 drafts that I can recall that Jerry Jones actually did something good.
Because y'all haven't been good since the 90s.
I know that. We haven't been good since since Michael Irvin.
The catch in 2014. The botched snap against the Seahawks in 2007. The catch. He caught it, Dillon.
I know he caught it. Shut up. I know he caught it.
He caught it.
I know.
He caught it in like 2014 against my Packers, of course. And, I don't want to be reminded of the NFC Championship game.
Now, okay. One of the first drafts that I can recall that Jerry Jones actually did something good. The first draft that I can recall that he did something good with was when he drafted Ezekiel Elliott. Now, don't get me wrong. Last year was an off year for him because last year he was not that good last year.
Yeah, he was off year for he had I think 6 rushing fumbles last year.
I think it was off year for the whole Dallas team after Dak broke his ankle and was out for the rest of the year.
I mean, like, Ezekiel Elliott is going to be like one of the greatest Cowboys running backs behind Tony Dorsett and Emmitt Smith, of course. Because I think currently, I'm not sure, but I think he's 4th all time in Cowboys rushing touchdowns. Behind, I'm pretty sure Marion Barber, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
No, he's probably past him right now. If you don't know who Marion Barber is, the most underrated running back in the 2000s. No, that goes to Priest Holmes. He's one of the most underrated running backs in the 2000s, in my opinion. And if the Cowboys actually had good management, like they made good personnel decisions, and were not an absolute flop, and actually fired Jason Garrett, and did not keep him around for his annual division round exits.
Trust me, I agree with that. I agree with that. But this is one of the first drafts, like I said before, that Dallas has actually did something right, just like the Lions. Dallas went straight defense until maybe the 6th or 7th round when they drafted that receiver from USC. And I think they drafted another receiver from Washington. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, the receiver was from Stanford.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They drafted a receiver from USC and Stanford. They drafted 2 receivers. Other than that, it was just full linebackers, D linemen, DBs, and safeties.
Yeah.
Straight
draft. Defense.
Which I'm really happy about.
Now hold on. All right, we got out the divisions that are not the NFC East. Now let's go to the NFC East. We're going to critique every team down to its very core. So we're going to start off with a pretty easy one, the Eagles. And the Eagles team ran by Howie Roseman is a bad franchise and bad organization. So in my personal opinion, I think you guys are going to take those 2 games. Now, the Giants and Washington football team, those are a bit tougher. You're going to take one against the Giants, and you're probably going to lose both games to the Washington football team. Because you forget, their defense is the best in the entire league with Chase Young, Ryan Kerrigan, Jonathan Allen, who's on that team, Cameron Curl. those are the best players on that defense. And I forgot who that linebacker they drafted. I'm pretty sure that linebacker was from Kentucky. You have that great defense and that rookie linebacker coming in.
His name is like something Hicks. I'll look it up.
It don't matter. You come in with that fire of a defense. They're torturing every team they play.
Keep talking. You good.
Even my Packers. Even though we're going through a mix of some hard times, I don't want to discuss because I'm a very emotional Packers fan. And,
Jermaine Davis. That's what they drafted.
Like, I'm a very emotional Packers fan, and last year's NFC Championship game is still lingering in the mind of me, and I cannot get the fact that Scotty Miller burned Kevin King for those long touchdowns. Yep, I could see Tom Brady throwing that Hail Mary with Kevin King.
Let's sit back and reminisce.
Let's be quiet real quick and reminisce on the fact that Scotty Miller burned Kevin King for 2 long touchdowns. I don't want to go back there. Basically, Tom Brady burned Kevin King's ankles by passing it to Scotty Miller, who, keep in mind, I forgot who the defensive coordinator was for the Packers at that time. The defensive coordinator, I forgot who that was, put him with no safety help in the backfield, and Scotty Miller, in my opinion, is the second fastest receiver in the league. Because he wanted to challenge Tyreek Hill to a race, in my opinion, which I don't blame him. Yeah, and they go out and draft Eric Stokes with the 29th pick at Packers management.
Eric Stokes was actually a good pick. You can't even lie. Eric Stokes was a good pick.
I don't care. We need receivers.
Hello. Hi. Y'all did draft receivers. Y'all drafted Amari Rodgers from Clemson.
In the third round. Y'all
still draft.
There was Elijah Moore. He got taken 2 picks before Eric Stokes. Elijah Moore. There were like a ton of great receivers on the board, and you take a corner, which in my opinion was like probably the biggest need since we had Kevin King.
Thank you.
Probably the biggest disgrace to any modern corner. He's probably the biggest disgrace to any modern corner in the entire National Football League. And the biggest
He's a disgrace to Jair Alexander.
Exactly. The best corner in the league and the biggest disgrace to corners across the nation and corners of all time in the National Football League. Deion Sanders, Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, Mel Blount, and Darrell Reeves, of course. I cannot go and mention the greatest corners without mentioning Darrell Reeves. Arguably the second greatest corner of all time. Yeah. He didn't get a lot of interceptions, but he had like a lot of passes defended. He was able to like make any defense he was on better, in my opinion. Like when your team was doing bad and you had the 2020 Dallas Cowboys defense, Darrell Reeves was on that defense to make your defense better. Y'all could have used him. Y'all could have used him even though he's retired though.
I know. He even locked up some of the Hall of Fame receivers that we know, like Marquise Goodwin, DeAndre Hopkins.
Did you just say Mark? No.
No. Not him. I didn't mean to say him. I'm thinking of somebody else. I don't remember who I'm thinking of. I don't remember. All I know is his name starts with an M. That's all I know.
Let me say the correct receivers. Huh? No. Let me say the correct receivers. Randy Moss, Torrey Holt, Antoine Bolden.
Thank you. That's who I was thinking of. Antoine Bolden.
He did not play with Larry Fitzgerald. I can get why you said DeAndre Hopkins, because he did play in the league until like 2017 when he retired after that season.
Like prime D-Hop.
Prime D-Hop on Texans is the most. No, I will not say that, because prime Larry Fitzgerald, prime Antonio Brown, prime Julio Jones. These 3 most unstoppable receivers this decade, and might possibly be the 3 most unstoppable receivers of all time. Oh, no, that's Jerry Rice, of course. The GOAT of all receivers.
Of course.
Literally holds the record of all in most touchdowns all time with, I think, 209. He without Jerry Rice, Joe Montana would have. He would at least have like 2 Super Bowls like the early 80s.
He would not have as many as he does. He would not have as many as he does right now. Okay, so back to the topic of
predictions.
Predictions for next year. For next year.
We're gonna go.
You got winning the Super Bowl.
All right, winning the Super Bowl. Of course, the Packers. Of course. Yeah, of course. Of course, the Packers, the most successfully run franchise since the NFL began in like 1920.
I love the sarcasm.
the greatest franchise would have very likable personalities on the team and very likable management. Yeah, Brian Gustis. Yeah, I'm talking to you, man. Yeah, Brian Gustis. Hey, Brian Gustis. It's me. I'm a longtime fan of the Packers, and I'm Brian Gustis. In order for me to not just like roll down and cry if Aaron Rodgers was tired, I suggest you just get up and get out of Green Bay because we need to win a Super Bowl before he retires. We are not content with one Super Bowl we got like 10 years ago. I was 3 years old when they won that Super Bowl. Dillon. I was 3 years old when they won that Super Bowl. I was 3 years old when they won that Super Bowl. When they had Clay Matthews. I'm pretty sure they had Donald Driver and Greg Jennings on that team. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, literally.
No, you're right.
Like, and Mike McCarthy, the most overrated head coach in NFL history. It was only good because Aaron Rodgers was there. And now that he's with a team that doesn't have Aaron Rodgers, he turns into Adam Gase. Dillon. Adam Gase is probably the most disgraceful man in NFL history, the most disgraceful man when it comes to head coaching. And I can do a better head coaching job. You can. My mother can. My father can. Literally, my father knows more about football than that man who does this. He looks like he looks like that.
Oh,
Sometimes he looks like that when he makes a dumb decision. Like,
Jason Garrett is definitely up there.
Yeah,
one of the most overrated.
Yeah, Garrett is up there. David Shula is up there as well. The son of legendary head coach Don Shula, of course, the all-time leader in head coaching wins.
Yeah.
And literally, I can think of any coach, any person in this world that would be a better general manager than Brian Gustis and a better head coach than Adam Gase. For example, me, of course. I play Madden all the time. I know what's up. I know what the team needs to do. Like, get rid of Kevin King. No, but you re-signed him for $6 million. He wasn't worth $6 million. Now, if 2019 Kevin King, like, if he had that same production, I would not be bothered. He had like 5 INTs last year. He was like one of, in my opinion, a top 20 corner in the league last year, in my opinion. And the fact that we still got blown out in that NFC Championship game in 2019, still, hold on, Dillon, we could have been in 4 NFC Championship games this decade. And this one was the closest because Tom Brady, the most unlikable man in all of football. You don't know the pain of a Packers fan. You could have been a Packers fan when you were growing up because you guys were terrible through the 80s. We're terrible through the 70s. You don't know the pain, the suffering, the heart.
Okay.
Am I getting a little bit too emotional?
A little bit too emotional. And while we're on that topic, first, I would like to shout out Lomas Brown for coming to meet us before we went live. That was great. That was a great honor to meet him. Basically, shout out Lomas Brown for coming to meet us before the podcast. We really appreciated that, and we really appreciated what you told us, and like, we just appreciate you in general for coming to hang with us and coming to meet with us. Okay, now let's change the topic a little bit. I don't know if y'all heard me, but shout out to Lomas Brown for waiting to meet us. Okay, now out of all the teams that have won out of all of the NBA, we're gonna go back to basketball. Out of all of the NBA teams that have won a championship, what team do you think is the worst championship winning team of all time?
Well, I can't say they're really the worst because if you win the championship, you're a great.
Well,
team.
not okay. Well, the least deserving.
Deserving. Let's see, the 2018 Warriors, in my opinion, because basically you have Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond in a good bench against LeBron and a bunch of scrubs. It's basically because LeBron couldn't carry himself. LeBron cannot carry the Cavs. He's been trying to do that since 2003.
But he did. He did at one point. At one point, when it was him, it was literally just him and Delonte West. I'm not saying Delonte West was good or anything.
He wasn't. Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but LeBron did carry the Cavaliers to 66 wins and to the finals that year.
Yeah. When they
got popped by the Spurs.
Yeah, the Spurs pummeled them.
Yeah.
And basically, more like anything, LeBron carries teams. That's not a knock on Michael Jordan. Of course, he is the GOAT. We cannot undispute that. He is the GOAT of basketball. The GOAT.
Wait, you said, huh?
I said Michael Jordan was the GOAT of basketball. We should know this by now.
I know.
We should know this by now.
But okay. So we're going to switch a little bit. Okay, since you say Michael Jordan's the GOAT, which I'm not disagreeing with you, but what competition did he have in the East?
In the East.
Besides Reggie Miller and AI. Patrick Ewing doesn't count because he was one of the biggest choke artists of the 90s.
Basically AI for like 3 years. All right, let's see. He had Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller was really his only competition. Baby Shaq don't count because he
beat him in a series. No, he didn't. He got swept by him in
That was like early 90s when that was the early 90s before the Bulls had formed their 72-10 6 championship winning dynasty.
I can actually not think of a team. I cannot think of a player.
Exactly. All of the top 10 players, according to Bleacher Report, Akeem Olajuwon in the West, Clyde Drexler in the West, Scottie Pippen, his teammate, Shaq, played for the Magic for maybe 3 or 4 years, went to the Lakers.
I can't think of anybody.
Alonzo Mourning. That doesn't count.
I can't think of anybody.
Early 2000s.
Exactly.
You can't really think of anybody because Michael Jordan had it easy in the East. He maybe had Larry Bird for what? 3 years after 3 years, his first 4 years in the league.
90s.
First 4 years in the league. Then he had Magic, first 4 years in the league. Kobe was in the Kobe. Magic don't count. Magic was in the West. Kobe was in the West. Shaq was in the West for basically all of his career. He went back to the East.
Yeah, he went to the East like after he got out of his prime.
Yeah, after MJ got out of his prime, won a championship with D Wade in 2006. 2006. And basically, MJ did not have that much competition in the
All
East.
his great competition came from the West. You have Gary Payton, Clyde Drexler, Chris Mullin, Dikembe Mutombo for 4 years.
4 or 5 years. Yeah,
he had Sean Kemp, Patrick Ewing in the East.
Biggest choke artist of the 90s.
He was the choke artist of the 90s. No, that was John Stockton actually. Remember. But
because John Stockton and Karl Malone and the Jazz were actually successful in the 90s. Even though they were in the West.
I forgot them.
Yeah, they were in the West. So I'm talking about like the biggest. No, we're going to say this straight right now. Patrick Ewing, John Starks and the Knicks, that time, biggest choke artists of the 90s.
What's that?
Come in.
All right, never mind.
Okay. Back to what I was saying. MJ did not really have that much competition in the East. Even if y'all don't believe me, Bleacher Report's top 10 players of all time. I don't really remember the list off the top of my head. I remember a few. Akeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, Sean Kemp, Gary Payton. Scottie Pippen was his teammate in the East. Shaq played in the East for maybe 4 or 5 years. Went to the West for the rest of his career until like maybe 2008 or 2009 when they won that championship. If Kendrick Perkins was on that team. And then basically all of MJ's competition and all of the players that y'all really say that MJ
gave MJ a challenge, that came from the West. There was absolutely no one. Zero competition in the East. No competition whatsoever besides Reggie Miller. Besides Patrick Ewing.
Biggest choke artist.
Yes.
Thank you.
I agree with that. Those were the only two competent players. And if we're like going off like players that joined the East like years later down the road in MJ's career, we're not counting that.
Yeah, no.
Like straight during MJ's prime, which was basically the entire
92,
90s.
Basically 92 to 97.
Yeah.
Basically. All right, so we're gonna say one more point, and then we're gonna have to go. So basically, in the GOAT conversation, you got to look at competition. You got to look at the competition from the 90s and bronze competition from 2003 to now. So basically, even though the NBA was a lot tougher back then,
the NBA was a lot tougher in the 90s.
Even though the NBA was a lot tougher than it is now, you got to look at the competition that MJ and LeBron both had. So we will continue this topic. We'll continue we'll continue this topic next Saturday at basically the same time, 2:00. So I hope y'all enjoyed the first episode of All Eyes on Sports. Once again, I'm Dillon Cotton. This is my little brother Connor Cotton, and we will see y'all next Saturday.
All right. I had to do that.
Oh, I don't got my glasses.
I had to do
wait,
that.
wait,
I had
wait.
to do that. I had to
Wait,
do
where
that.
are my glasses? No. I don't have my glasses. Oh, I got them.
I had to do that. I had to do that. I
I got them.
All right. We can stop. We can stop now. We can stop.
I don't know if we leave or not.
Do we leave?